Welcome to The Glowing Goddess. We are four women on a mission to positively impact, inspire, and ignite the collective consciousness with unique perspectives of empowering wisdom, divine guidance, and enlightening activation codes of truth. Tune in weekly for brand new episodes with a variety of epic content and tap into the magical offerings we have aligned for you. Thank you for being here. We are so grateful for your time and energy. Let's get glowing.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amanda Monnier. I specialize in multidimensional health and wellness. I am a healer and a coach, and I help people transform their bodies from within and without. And I am so happy to be with everybody today.
Thanks, Amanda. I am Eleni. I am a mother, a motivational speaker, best-selling author, and I am an ambassador with iHeart Coaching Academy. So I help people find a life that they love and financial freedom, not only that way, but with mindset coaching as well. I've recently shifted into the space of working with children and have a really exciting, groundbreaking program getting ready to launch for y'all soon. And my very first children's book getting ready to hit the stores in the next few months ahead.
So exciting, Eleni. So excited for you. Hello, everyone. I am Krysta Lee. I am a mother of two, a wife, a best-selling author, a life coach, and also a new co-founder and facilitator guide here at Soul School in Ontario, Canada.
Love it. Love you all. I am Renee Marcou, a brand strategist, money activating queen, and cosmic manifestation teacher. I lead visionary women and men into divine service and massive impact to soar into riches in their relationships, love, and business. And
what a
yes.
A gorgeous group of souls we have here, and I am just so excited to dive in on today's topic. And it's living the life of divine purpose and being divinely compensated for it. So living a life that you love, right? We just kind of touched on that in all of our different intros, you know, what it means to live a life that you love. So what is that? Like how do we let go of the programming, right? That's told us that it's supposed to look a certain way, and that, you know, you might have to sacrifice happiness in order to have financial compensation. You know, does anybody want to jump in? I mean, because I could jump and flow right on this, but does anybody else feeling called to speak on this topic? Because there's a lot. This is juicy. This hits a lot of facets.
This totally does. And this is absolutely one of my favorite topics to touch upon too. And I know that this fires all of us up because we have every one of us here has gone for our life purpose. And the topic of being divinely compensated has come up for each and every single one of us. Like either, you know, whether, and everyone can share their own story, of course, but I know for me, I literally left music career in the sense I left, right? It's still in my life, but I left a music career where I was having offers of 6-figure contracts. You know, the whole world of music industry didn't end up being my favorite. So I decided to leave that world, if you will, and then go independent completely myself. And since then, I've opened my own coaching business, which has been literally all about my divine purpose. And it's just incredible when you can really be divinely compensated for the things that you are bringing up to the world and for the world. So do you want to share with like stories first, ladies? Like, should we share like how did we all get here? Because it's really like everyone comes from a different place, I feel. And I think that it could be helpful for people watching.
Yeah, for sure. For me, like I'm going to jump in. For me, the biggest part of my story relating to this topic is the awakening and awareness that my supply comes from God. I call my higher power God. I mean, some people might say, you know, universe, mother, father, God, whatever speaks to you, but that's where my supply comes from. And once I flipped that program, once that all started to make sense to me, everything just started to flow with very little resistance, little to no resistance, and the the alignment. It's about identifying alignment. So I became an international best-selling author, and I was booked to speak internationally, and I was still bartending. I'm like single mom. I had this program that single moms have to work really hard. Got to be a lot of hustle. It's going to be, challenged to be a single mom. So I had all this programming going on, and I just was like, at this point where it's starting to awaken, and I'm like, God, why am I still here? Why am I still doing this? Why am I still bartending when all these things are going so right? What's holding me back here? I just heard divine love. Divine love was what I heard in my meditation, and that revealed itself very quickly within a few shifts. I was put in a situation where I was able to look at someone with compassion and not judgment. And after that, clarity became very, very rapid for me, and making my move became easier. I was told by my higher self in a past life regression to quit my job, and I felt afraid, but exhilarated. Like I felt like, yes, I need to do this. I need to do this. But that programming of, well, where's my next meal going to come from? Where's the next dollars going to come from? Instead of just trusting that as long as I'm happy and what I'm doing feels divinely aligned and authentic, well, that's where the next dollars come from, right? And so I listened to my high self, and I quit the job. I quit my job, and it was within months that these magical opportunities came to me. I was invested in to do spiritual work, to help people awaken. I was invested in to pursue these avenues as I was growing and expanding. I was given the freedom to not only help others, but begin my company, Cali Taros, and help create courses and film and pray, getting paid to pray, and teach people how to pray and teach people how to feel that connection with source. And, the next thing was like, I really want to write a children's book. And I thought about this a couple weeks ago when I was a little girl. I used to tell everyone, I'm going to write and illustrate children's books when I grow up. I'm going to write and illustrate children's books. Well, I wrote it. My daughter illustrated it. She was the kickoff for the illustrators. She was the inspiration. And it's funny how that all aligned, but here we are. Like I was like, I want to write a book. I wrote a children's book this time. The day I put the last period on that storyline, a nice little flow of magic money showed up. Magic money, y'all. It is a real thing. Miracle money, because my supply comes from God, all different ways. God works in a myriad ways to bless me and you too, right? When you eliminate the thought that it can only come from one place or another, and just say, I don't know where it's coming from, but I know it's coming. That day, I finished the book. That the exact amount of money I needed to publish this book came in. I thought, well, isn't this wonderful? How wonderful this is. Thank you, Uni. And just express my gratitude. But there it is, living, it's just about that trust. And when we get into the later segments in the show, I'm going to, try to help give you guys some processes to build this trust that what you need to care about first and foremost is how you are feeling. How are you feeling? What are you vibrating? When you pay more attention to that, all those other divine steps are going to fall into place for you. You spend more time meditating, less time hustling, more time meditating, getting that clarity, moving when you feel moved. Better don't work on something today that intuition tells you to do tomorrow. Like just being in touch with yourself and trusting that you are in fact source in a body here to be expressed through, to have this human experience, to remember the truth of what you are and live that. And it is compensated for, and quite well, I will add. Preach.
Eleni, wow, the preaching fire. This is just so resonating so deeply. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Renee too, I'm like completely vibing with everything that you're both saying. And I can, like, my story kind of ties in with both of yours as well. Like with Renee, the whole background in singing and acting, and like that was my world for so long. And I really wanted to step out of that space, but there was this one show that I kept going back to and leaving my family for and sacrificing so much. And then this past year, they let me go, which was really, really interesting. I lost my job for the first time since like 2009. And we briefly touched on this before, but I found myself in this new space. And like, I've always been this like creative mind and really pursuing passions and like hobbies of mine that I really love and been able to make quite a substantial living off of it. And so I found myself in this new space and I was like, you know what? Like I was already in this mindset of this is not for me anymore. Like you said, Renee, I was not really vibing with the space, like energetically in the whole world of the gigging world and the hustle and the bustle of it all. And my word coming into this year was harmony. I really wanted to harmonize my life and find peace and really embody peace and joy and just fulfillment, like soul fulfillment. And so it's kind of funny how I got to where I'm at now, getting divinely compensated for living my purpose. Because as a mother of two, that is honestly changed my world in more ways that I will ever be able to count, because I'm so happy to be a mother and so grateful to be a mother. And I love teaching my kids and watching them grow and learning from them is just this beautiful energy exchange that I can pour into and just like receive so much in return. It's just divinely beautiful. It's so fulfilling. And so I thought to myself, like, oh, like, what can I do for work? And I had my mom saying to me for so many years, you should really open up something at your home there. You've got such a beautiful space and blah, blah, blah. Like she had a home daycare growing up. And I used to teach my younger siblings. I used to pretend to play teacher and like be like the school teacher and like set them up with little desks. And we had a chalkboard and I'd get up there and I'd like literally do lessons. And they didn't like it as much as I did, but I found so much joy in it. And then flash forward over the years, I taught vocal lessons for a while there and then the life coaching, of course, too. And like, that's when my path started to change, was when I started to do the one-on-one working with my clients and starting to step into my purpose that way, was like coaching and helping others and inspiring others. That's something that brings me so much joy. But then like now it's really interesting. Just this past fall, I was sitting with my dear friend Kaylee, who's the co-founder here at Soul School, and she is an ECE teacher. And we were both just talking about like education and kids and how the system is just so corrupt and there's so much going on within the system that we're just not gelling with. And I had already been homeschooling my little guys for almost 5 years at this point. So we're like, why don't we just open up a space here and literally teach all the kids all the things that we're practicing anyway, and like create this divine sacred space for the conscious collective, but starting here at home. And that's what we did. And like, honestly, of all the careers that I've had so many over my lifetime, some that compensated so beautifully, some that didn't, you name it. I've been there, done that, more than likely. And this is the most fulfilling for me personally, because I am literally walking my path, like in my true form, as a mother, as a teacher, as a starseed with my starseeds. And it's just like the most beautiful thing. And I could cry. I'm so in my power now and getting compensated for it. I never would have thought. I've been doing this for so many years with my kids on my own. And now I'm getting compensated by people who trust and believe in me to nurture their kids the same way that I do my own. And that's just the highest honor. So it's possible, guys. It's absolutely possible. And it's always in the places where you never think it might be. And this literally manifested in a couple of weeks. Like we came from thoughts to fruition, just like that, literally in a couple of weeks. So you're on the flow when there's no resistance and you're on the path, and it just goes. So I'm just so grateful. It's amazing. It's magic.
Oh, that's so I love hearing these types of stories too, because I feel like there's so many people that are kind of in that space to where they're on that path and they're like feeling the resistance and they're waking up every day and they're like, oh, this feels like heavy work, right? And I think that's the difference, is that when you're on your path, and I don't even love the word work to describe what I do, at least on a daily basis, because I enjoy it. Like all the things I'm putting my energy into, I enjoy. And part of my journey on my life purpose and my transitions and career transitions, I was in a career in law enforcement for about 6 years. And it got to the end of it, was the last 2 years, I was depleted. I was burnt out. I would wake up every day just feeling uninspired. And I was like kind of half-assing it, to be honest, like towards the end, because it just felt like everything I put into it was not, I wasn't getting that. It didn't feel nourishing. Like what was coming back didn't feel nourishing to my system. And so I feel like that's another kind of piece for people, that this journey of life purpose and really stepping into that, it can feel very nourishing to your soul and to your system. And I do believe that we're all coded for each different things that we're meant to bring here as an extension of God, source, universe. We're all coded differently. We're all a piece of the puzzle. So what I found too on this journey, it's like some people will look at somebody else and be like, oh, I want to bring all this stuff that they're bringing in. It's like, well, you're coded for your own stuff. So you can take bits and pieces of the teachings and the codes and embody those codes into what feels good and aligned for you, and create from your own magnetism and your own magic, because that is what magnetism and what allure and all of those energies and frequencies, they tie into that. And then you magnetize the people into your life, whether it be relationships, or if you do desire to transition into a business, your soul aligned clients. It is something that is, again, this like very nourishing energy. And although it does require discipline, so I think that that's one thing that I've found, at least on my journey, I'd love to hear your guys' perspective, is that there are some people that say they do desire these things, but that foundation and that structure is so necessary. So that was something my first couple of years in business, I was like more in my feminine and just kind of floundering around, and systems and structure are also so very important. It's like that balance of the masculine and the feminine, and within and without, right? So if we don't have that structure, and that's why a lot of people who go into these like businesses, maybe they aren't feeling nourished, or maybe like they're like, I keep trying and it's nothing's happening. There could be an essence or an element of like, how are you showing up, and is it in a way that feels nourishing for you, one, and do you have those systems and those structures in place? Because I do feel that it is a very important part of the equation. So, but I do think that we are transitioning into a space to where these old structures and these old matrix systems, so to speak, are dissolving, because the frequency is so high, because people are stepping into their passion, their purpose, their power, love, and we're just not having the old way anymore, whether it be like with the education or even the way we do business. It's changing. And so it's like, again, if you're feeling that kind of fire under you to make some changes, you could start even just laying that foundation. Doesn't mean you have to like go quit your job today, although maybe you will, I don't know, but just start laying that foundation and really setting those intentions and getting really clear on what it is you desire. And I always say this is something more expansive. So
I love that you're saying that too, and what everybody's been sharing as well. And it really is like, I truly do believe that at the end of the day, like the universe would not be dangling carrots in front of your face. So if you have a passion, if you have magic, if you have healing powers for others, if you have coaching skill, if you have experience, and you have this fire that's already within you, right? And maybe if it's not in you yet, it's something that you know is coming, right? If you already have this divine desire to serve, to produce, to share your genius zone, you will be shown the way. There are very, very practical steps that must be in place. I've been in business for myself for over 12 years, and I didn't just, things didn't just like fall into place. And I was like, well, here's all my clients for the rest of my booking days. Like, it was not like that. I'm of course showing up. I'm being visible. I'm allowing people to know what I'm doing in my world, so then they can be magnetized into my business as well. So I love that you said that, Amanda, because it's not just this like airy energy all the time. It's like, we do have to let people know that we're available. So how do we do that? And there's so many different ways, especially if you're utilizing the internet and social media. There's so many ways that you can share your life purpose with others and be divinely compensated for it. And like Eleni had mentioned too, and this is something that I also teach as well, we need to know that the money doesn't come always from our clients. Like money can come to you from all sources. And like Eleni was saying, her money source is God. Like it's not through her clients, it's through God. So she's receiving the ideas, the collaborations, the affiliate programs, like all the things that she's doing to create and receive money in that level. And that's also something that I'm really passionate about sharing as well, because I want to see my soul sisters and my soul clients really being able to be divinely compensated, so that worry of how do I get food on the table, how do I pay my mortgage, how do I feed my children's mouths, is never an issue. And then you can fully show up with and for your clients in your divine purpose and know that you are being nourished on all levels for that. So it's definitely, it's changed for sure. Like everyone here has said, like our careers have changed over time, and it certainly has changed for me. My music career is still in my life, but I do it in my way, right? I do it in that independent way. Same thing with all the entertainment things that I do. And you know, sometimes I still have my hands in other parts of my business as well. My main focus is my coaching program, because I love sharing the modalities that I've had and I've witnessed in other people's lives, like really create miracles and manifest miracles. I love sharing that with other people so they can teach that information as well. So if you're a person out there and you're feeling like, hey, like I'm feeling lit up by what these women are saying right now, I'm going to give it a go. Follow that. There's something there for you, and you never fail until you give up. So it's, you know, there will be shifting and changing. Perhaps maybe you'll hire a mentor, a business coach, or somebody who is living the life living their life already the way that you want to be living it, or their lifestyle business or whatever it is. And really seek those people out, because they will give you the roadmap. I mean, at least if they're coaching, right? Then they'll give you the roadmap. But it's very, very a beautiful experience to really be able to wake up and know that what you're doing in the day is divinely created by you and source, that you get to show up and deliver to your ideal clients from your heart center to theirs, that you're making your own hours, you're making your own programs, you're being in that creative field. It's literally such a good feeling. And I know, at least in my community, there's so many entrepreneurs who follow my work and the shares that I have going on too. And I'm sure that there's so many entrepreneurs, CEOs, and creativepreneurs in this group as well. So hopefully this is good for y'all.
As we like wrap up this topic, I think it's really important too to notice this energy in our brothers and sisters, in our fellows. When I contract people to do things, and I'm talking everything from plumbing work in my home to working on my car to doing techie type of stuff, I want people who are in that authentic energy, people who love what they do. You know, our brothers and sisters, like Amanda said, we're all like coated with these different aspects of the divine creator that we're all meant to bring down here to live in this unity together, right? Celebrate this by choosing people who are passionate about what they do. When someone's working in my home, I want that kind of energy being infused into. I want a carpenter who loves doing carpentry work, because that energy is going to hold in whatever is being created, whatever is being birthed. You know, if somebody's doing some web work, I want someone who is like a complete techie geek, like loves it. I've been messing with tech since I was in 8th grade. I love it. I love coding. Do you? Because I don't know the first thing about it, but I love how much you love it. Come on in with that good
Tired.
Yeah, I want that good energy into my project, right? And that's how we co-create with each other, and we celebrate that in our brothers and sisters, and we compensate them for their passion, and then we're going to call in the people who are going to compensate us for our own passions. It's all a system of just celebrating and recognizing that beautiful energy that the creator beings of that we are, right?
So powerful. That's such a great tip. Like even right there, Eleni, I love that so much. Like it's so true, because like literally when we're in that passion, we're putting that into whatever we're doing. Like just like you said, whether it's carpentry or plumbing, it doesn't matter what it is, that energy is going to live there. Like we're creating, like so powerful. I love that you said that. And it was just making me think too, how whatever it is that we're passionate about, there is someone who will give you a paycheck for that out there. There literally is. You can turn that passion into a paycheck no matter what your passion is, like what brings you joy. Go out and look for the people that are doing those things, because you can totally absolutely do that. And a little download that came to me last year or the year before, I think it was when we replace the B in the word job with our why, our job becomes our joy. And you've probably heard before when they say, like, what's your why? What's your why? Like, what is driving you to do whatever it is that you do? When we replace that, there is no more job. Just like Amanda was saying, this is not work anymore. This is literally a life purpose. And because we all have these special, unique gifts that are just encoded just to us, we get to walk in that power and be divinely compensated for it. So it's just so beautiful. This is like such a divine topic, and I love it so much. And I don't want to move on to the tips, but I think we got to move on to the tips.
Sure, we'll do another part of this. We could talk about life purpose stuff for hours.
We totally could. And in lieu of that, I suppose we'll move on to gua sha stones. So I don't know if you ladies have heard of this. I feel like you probably have, but this one is really shaped differently. From my friend sent me this one, and I think it's from India actually. So if you haven't heard of a gua sha stone before, I'll read you the benefits quickly and do a little demo, because I know our friends that are going to be listening on the podcast won't be able to see what's going on here, but gua sha stones are really, really cool. So the benefits that they have are, it brightens our complexion. We use this stone on our face. It's like a massager. It decreases dark circles. It's lymphatic drainage, contours and sculpts, reduces puffiness and inflammation, softens wrinkles and fine lines, diminishes scarring, and even fights acne, cystic acne. So there's like a certain way that you can use a gua sha, and I don't want to really do it too much right now, because normally you have to have a really nice oil. I like to use organic sesame seed oil, because it also has antioxidants, and it's good for wrinkles and stuff too. But yeah, there's like a certain way that you would use this stone, and it like literally you just give yourself a face massage with this beautiful stone, and it's just so magical. I love it so much. And I do it like once a week, but you could do it as often as you like, really once a day maybe. Highly recommend. It's natural, made by Mama Nature, and there's so many great benefits to it. And as we age, these little things, they do make a big difference, I find. And it's nice for that little self-care moment and taking time for you. So I'll link that in the comments as well, so people can see what it is, and you can grab them pretty much anywhere that's like a beauty store, or even Amazon, of course. I'm always going to Amazon, but it's on Amazon.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Krysta, you always have the best like little beauty things, and oh my gosh, so great. So my tip kind of ties into what I was talking about today around this essence of bringing in that discipline if it is something you really desire, and it's twofold. So we each have masculine and feminine energy. And so the first step is getting really clear on your desire, which is like this very feminine energy. So the feminine sets the tone, and the masculine carries the terms, that encompasses the terms. So getting really clear on what it is you desire. And this can be something to maybe where you go into a bit of meditation, you bring yourself into the present, and you're just kind of, maybe you're doing some automatic writing, you're channeling, you're just getting really, really clear on your desires. And then something that I've found to be really, really helpful is I connect with my inner masculine. I refer to this as my king, and I get directives on like what I need to do as far as inspired action steps to move the needle and to really see this in the physical reality. Because that's what I've noticed a lot of this in kind of the new agey spiritual community, where it's just kind of like, oh, we'll just flow through life in the feminine and blah, blah, blah. Like we have to be taking that inspired action as guided, right? We have to have that balance of both. And, you know, even if we're doing that like 80% inward work and we're taking 20% inspired action or whatever it is, but there has to be that anchoring in the physical reality. The universe responds to action. It responds to things that you're doing, right? And if you just say, oh, I desire it, and I'm going to say, you know, a prayer one time, and then I'm going to walk away from it, I'm here for miracles. It totally happens, right? But oftentimes when it's something you're really wanting to bring into your physical reality, like if it's something you're coded for, if it's something you deeply desire, I do believe you're meant to have it. So continuing to show up and embody that and putting that out there. So that's something that's been really helpful and is a practice of mine. And I do this daily. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't really feel like it, but I do it anyway. Right. And then I get into that frequency feeling of it. And I start to feel that energy moving, and I start to feel the essence of what I desire. So that's something that can be really helpful.
I love that. What a great tip. It's so true, that it's not just the law of attraction. There are 12 or more universal laws, and the attraction won't work without action, right? Because it is energy, and we have to keep it moving. So it's such a valuable point and a great tip, Amanda. And that's, where that continued guidance will come from, is getting in tune with that, right? What's the next step? What's the next step? And we could have a whole episode on that where we could, I'm sure, all tell stories about how the next steps were lined out divinely, right? And give those stories, because it's so true. My tip for you guys for today, for our listeners, viewers, it's about reprogramming. So let's say you've got some of these old, worn out belief systems, right? That you just really, really aren't serving you, but you want to trust, but you've got belief systems in place that make it feel really difficult for you. Oftentimes when we start doing this type of work, we realize we have many programs that are not serving us, right? And it can feel overwhelming. Sometimes, I know it did for me. I'm speaking, for myself and clients that I've worked with, that it can feel really overwhelming. Well, I've got beliefs about my health, and I've got beliefs about money, and I've got beliefs about possibility and trust. Keep it simple. Break it down to the area of life that you're looking to see improvement. Like what's the most urgent right now for you? And my tip for you is to set your phone, make some alarms, maybe two a day. Name the alarm with an affirmation that aligns with that reprogramming. If it's a money thing, money comes quickly and easily, or my supply comes from God. It's infinite, immediate, and inexhaustible. There is no delay or obstruction to my good. Something that aligns with whatever it is that you're looking to invite in. But don't focus so much on what you're getting rid of, but what you are creating and what you're inviting in. So get that phone alarm, use that to go off a couple times a day so you can look at it, say it, put that same affirmation on Post-its. I have one, like whenever I'm reprogramming or working through something or looking to deliberately create something, I keep Post-its. Like I have them in my car, I have them in my cabinet, just so I remember to use them. When I wake up in the morning and I'm doing my processes, I make sure to journal them out, say them with passion, but go through them one at a time. That is my tip for you. Use little tools to help you remember to create this and make it a habit of just constant repetition, so that it starts getting validated. And as you start putting these into practice, you'll notice that you are validated first, maybe little ways, sometimes big ways, but starting to celebrate that you're being validated. But yeah, you have to put it into action. You can't just say an affirmation once and it's going to change your old belief systems. You've got to really say it and engrave, because those old beliefs have been said thousands of times in your mind, thousands. You can work on ripping them out all at once, but then you have to put something new in there. What are you filling in its place? What are you putting in? But yeah, so phone alarms, Post-its, break it down until the most important ones. Then after a few weeks, when you feel comfortable, move on to the next one.
Yes, and these are lovely tips per usual, ladies. And my tip is going to be for today, if you are really looking to do something and get divinely paid for it, is maybe you don't know what it is quite yet. You have some interest in things. So I encourage you to write down a brainstorm, to write down like, what are the things in my life that I'm passionate about, that if I was doing every single day, that would be a drive for me. Also look at how that's going to impact the people that buy your product or service. And also, how is it going to impact the world at large? And let those be your why. Let those be your driving force behind why you're going to show up and live your life purpose. Because it really, as much as it's amazing to be divinely compensated and to provide for your family and friends, like you're here to be a change maker. Life purpose, you are given life purpose for change. You are not meant to fit into a world all the time. I feel like I can really speak to our community here about this. We're here to recreate one or make it even better. So when we really look at what our life purpose is and give ourselves the opportunity to decide, hey, I really love this passion. It would really make me feel so excited that I could be divinely compensated for this. Plus, with this, I'm also helping the animal kingdom or whatever it is, like knowing that it's more outside of you, the effect, than it even is on the self, that will be a driving force to keep you wanting to move forward and keep you motivated in it. So that is my tip for today.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Yeah, the clarity is so important. And I love the ripple. I call that like the ripple in the pond, right? When you really get expansive in your mind, it can fire you up when you realize how far your reach really is beyond just that immediate. So I love that you brought that to the attention of our viewers and listeners, Renee. So let's jump into some offers, because that's what we do here. Hot for 1 week after first airing, we like to give all just some sort of divine gift. And today, in alignment with what we have discussed and all, with my tip of affirmations and based on reprogramming old beliefs, I am going to give you guys all access to a PDF of my favorite magic affirmations that have caused massive shifts in my life experience. They are personally created by me with all my little special touches, and I do believe that they do have a real magical pull. So I'm going to make that available to all of you for free.
Thank you. That's amazing. Okay, so I'll share my offer. So I actually own an academy where I certify women to become life coaches and start their own business online from anywhere in the world. The process works for everybody, for every type of manifestation you're looking to create in your life. And this is a method that I have been using and teaching for over 12 years. So I'm going to give, let's see, my team doesn't know this, but I'm going to give everybody here for 1 week, $2,500 off of the ticket price. And you still have access to all of the juicy bonuses, including the live Q&As for 3 months. So that is my gift for each and every one of you today. And I'll pop the link and the promo code inside of the chat.
Fire.
So amazing. I love it.
So amazing. Oh, and the team, watch out, team. Renee's coming through. I love that. Way to pull through. That's amazing. So generous. I just love you guys so much. This is amazing. Well, because of our topic of conversation this week, I would love to offer our listeners a free one-on-one call where we deep dive into turning your passion into your paycheck and brainstorming together on how we can manifest this faster with ease and grace with the universe. So I'll put a link in the notes there for anyone to come onto my website and send me an email, and we will make that happen this week.
Love it. These are all so amazing. I love these offers. And this week, I'm going to extend an invitation into my private community. It's called the Embodied Essence Community. And I show up there and I do live teachings. Sometimes I do energy healing transmission. So it just kind of depends on what is coming through and what I'm feeling. But I would love to invite you into that community if you feel aligned to do so. And ladies, I think that kind of brings us to a close for today, unless anyone has anything else.
Feeling complete.
Awesome. I love it. So we just want to thank everyone for joining us today. And we welcome you also into our Facebook community. If you're listening on YouTube or on the podcast, we will drop the link in the show notes, and we post the episodes first in our private Facebook community, along with our tips, offers that are all good for 1 week. So we invite you into that community, as well as any questions that you might have. We do answer those questions live on quick lightning rounds, or we'll do a full episode depending on what we feel called to do. So we love having you as part of this community. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.
Ciao.